to welcome you to the Magdalene interview series today. I have with me Kirsi Englund. Did I do it right?
Yeah, pretty much. Englund in Swedish, we say it.
Beautiful, beautiful. She said we can call her Kirsi.
Yeah, I actually love that because ever since I was a little, I've always loved American accent, like always, always, always. So it's
Oh.
like it sounds like Kirsi. It's like, oh, it's me.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Oh, well, Kirsi is coming to us from Sweden. She is from Finland originally, and she takes people to Egypt. And so this is going to be a very beautiful, broad conversation. And we welcome you today. I created the Magdalene interview series to really widen the conversation around Mary Magdalene and what it means to be a woman today and how we really access our roots and our power and show up in our fullest sense in our leadership, both for our heart and for our soul and for those that we came here to impact. And all of this is done in conjunction with the pleasure pilgrimage, which I am leading to the south of France in September. And it's just been so rich, and I can't wait for Kirsi to bring some of this magic to us today, especially in the realms of really trusting yourself, trusting your mission, and also this medicine that she carries with connections to Egypt, with Mary Magdalene. So yum, let's dive in. Kirsi, will you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about like just who you are and the work that you do?
Yeah. Oh my God. And just like, first of all, I used to hate that question. And I still think a little bit of me does. Because this whole thing that coming and doing these kind of interviews and podcasts and stuff, like 6 years ago, I think I did my first of these. And I was so nervous every single time. And I had prepared myself, writing down the answers and just like got so good, well prepared, and like what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say that, and then the new me is just like, oh yeah, we are starting in 10 minutes. Okay, grounding myself, a little bit sage, asking Mary Magdalene and everyone else to just be here with me, and then just we go. Okay, but yeah, back to your question. So
love that.
So well, I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, and actually nowadays also a Kundalini yoga teacher trainer. Intuitive, that is. Kundalini yoga can be quite strict, so I have a more intuitive path to that. Soul mentor, healer, channel, an author. My third book is coming out in this summer. Actually, I'm gonna publish it by myself. So I have also started my own publishing house. But the thing is, that's so fun that you're asking that. Maybe I somehow knew in my unconscious, because I was just a few days ago thinking of like, what shall I ask when people, what shall I answer when people ask me, what do I do? Because this is the thing, like I hold retreats all over the world. I have online yoga classes. I have my mentorship clients, one-on-one mentoring. And then I have these trainings, and then I'm channeling books, and it's like so many things. Mm-hmm. But I was writing down the red thread within it all. Like what's the core thing that I'm actually doing in all of those services? So it's opening up your effing heart. I usually like to use the F words, but I'm not sure if you are comfortable with that. So we just say effing heart. My other book name is Open Your Fucking Heart, actually. But yeah, that's like the thing for me. That's just because there lies everything I have noticed. Like when we get to be vulnerable and raw and real and authentic and everything, just be. So that's the key to everything. And from there, everything changes.
That's beautiful. And yes, you're welcome to show up as your most authentic self.
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, I also want to share. It's 7 p.m. In Sweden right now, and I've been up 13 hours. I have took the kids to school. I have done this and that, and took dog out, and done groceries. And like, I might look maybe a little bit tired. But
You look great. You look radiant. Well, let's dive in a little bit about, speaking about trusting yourself,
yeah.
trusting your mission, and how that connects to opening your heart. What do you feel Mary Magdalene or the energy of Magdalene has taught you about self-trust
Oh,
specifically?
so much. And this whole trust thing, and especially self-trust, like self-doubt has been the worst monster ever in my life. And especially I've always had this like, what gifts? Like, I don't have any gifts. Like, I have been so jealous to some of my friends who are like seers, and they see spirits and they hear they hear spirits, and I'm like, I don't see anyone. I don't hear anything. I'm like, I don't have any gifts. And so I've had like really much wrestling with this whole trust thing. And then Mary Magdalene, and it all started with Isis about 5-6 years ago. And then obviously then came the both Marys and Joan of Arc and everyone Jesus. Um, yeah, they have taught me so much. But I guess this is the biggest lesson, that before I was working with them, I used to think that, being confident and have a lot of self-trust, it's like you are always like so smooth with your words, and you are like so confident, and you never fail in anything, and you're just like so perfect and perfect and perfect. But then I realized that it's actually totally like, of course, that's also true. But then for me, this huge realization is that like real self-trust, and also trust in everything, feeling the connection and opening up your heart, comes from being vulnerable. Like that you can actually showing up live without your makeup. And it's not even about the makeup, but it's like just that you can show up to things like this like totally unprepared, and you still know that you're going to be supported, you still know you're going to be loved, you're going to be okay. And that great love that I just receive from them every day, I invoke them every day in my life. So that's like indescribable. Like, yeah, so that they have really learned me how the power and how the trust lies in this present moment, and me being willing to show my true self, the vulnerable sides of me, not always the I'm so strong one.
I love that. And I relate with that journey too. Oh my goodness. We just yesterday for Mother's Day, we pulled out a bunch of home videos from my childhood. And I was watching this. I won a pageant when I was 18 and was watching how I felt I needed to carry myself. Like I just kept going, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. But I think that there's this pressure on women to live and be and behave a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's so intense, and it's so much pressure, and it's been also really interesting to me lately to kind of uncover and deconstruct how much of that perfect image is also rooted in whiteness. Like there's this very performative thing that I think to myself, oh my God, I am white, and I feel all of this pressure. How does this system make people of color feel? How does this system make people who don't fit the mold or the culture or the vernacular or the right words or the whatever? Like, it's so intense. And So deconstructing all of that, I think from my own experience, helped me to let go of the whole system, dismantle the whole system. And what once felt like imperfections now just feels like, oh, embracing different ways of being human.
Like realness.
Yeah, how does that relate for you? That as you come into realness, do you feel like it's allowed you to open up and like be with people's different like ways of being in the world and people's different lived experiences?
Yeah, and like that first thing that comes to my mind is this like ability that it's okay to not know things. Like, because I used to like think like when you're being confident and you have a lot of self-trust, then you are always like, you always know what to say, and you just have the perfect words in every situation. But like the new me, or the more present me, the more vulnerable me, like surrounded by this love, it's like, it's okay to just be silent, like, and that you don't need to know the answer. You can always say like, I don't know. And that's like the best teachers are actually those that can say, I don't know, if they don't know. So I don't know. This is where the conversation now took me. I don't know if that was a exact correct answer to a question, but like this realness for me is the ability just to, like I said, show up vulnerable. And that we don't need as women and as people, whatever, to feel these silent moments. Like we have this, I bet you also have in this culture, it's like called this like uncomfortable silence, like uncomfortable silent moments. And like that's something I just want to like delete. No, they are not uncomfortable, they are beautiful. Like that we all get to in our everyday life to experience this kind of presence and silence, and that's like realness for me, especially here in Sweden. People are really, really good with small talk, like I guess in the States as well. So it's like every time there is like a silent moment, it's like someone have to open up their mouth. I'm like, that's actually contradictory to Finland, to Finnish people, because Finnish people don't like small talk at all. Yeah.
I cannot stand small talk, and a muscle I've had to practice.
But what about the realness, and what has helped me with practicing that is, again, opening up my heart, and like that it comes from this love that I'm practicing to be, what's the word, like curious about this person.
Bingo.
Like, from the love, I want to be curious, I want to learn more about this person or this culture or something. Then it does not become so like awkward kind of, okay, what's the weather like?
Yes, yeah, I love what you're saying, that there's time for stillness and there's time for those moments of silence. And something I didn't hear you say but allude to is listening. Like you said, you know, when you're in those experiences and you feel like you have to fill up the space with words, sometimes the best thing you can do is be quiet and drop into curiosity and listen. So I love what you're saying about that. Mary Magdalene has been a huge teacher for me in that element of listening. I had not seen listening as like a spiritual practice until very recently recognized, oh.
It's so funny that you said that, because for me, listening has always been much more easier, and that I have done already many years when I've been like spiritual mentor. And it's like I always also receive feedback from my clients that you are such a good listener. So that's something, that's maybe one of my gifts. But like Mary Magdalene has taught me to speak. And she has taught me to speak like unapologetically, and just like for example, nowadays I'm doing actually 365 challenge. I'm going live Facebook every day, and it's just like so wonderful. Like I'm so that I can just take my phone and I have nothing ready in my head what to say, and I just start to talk. And from there comes wisdom when I just open up my mouth, and it's magic. So yeah, that, like you said, somewhere here, like it's like how Mary Magdalene is teaching us so many skills a little bit from different angles. And
I love that. Yeah, to really use our voice.
yeah,
How beautiful. I'd love to now maybe transition a little bit around your retreats to Egypt and your experience in working with the land and with that lineage. And I mean, even the curiosity of many of the people who are on this show come into Isis through Mary Magdalene.
yeah, it happened to me as well.
Well, you said did Isis come first or did Magdalene come first?
Isis came first.
So that is a little bit of a unique. I don't hear that as often, and so yeah, I'd love to just like share with us what resonates with you around all of that, and what is your work with the Isis and Egyptian lineage through to Mary. Like, what does that look like in your day-to-day life?
Yeah. Well, if I'm speaking about these retreats first, so like about 3 years ago, it's such a long story, it could take an hour, so very, very briefly, but around 3 years ago, I just received so strong guidance that I need to go to Egypt, like holding a retreat there. Like that was just like so strong intuition, even if I had never ever before haven't been so fun in Egypt. Like because usually I hear people like, oh, I've loved Egypt ever since I was a kid, kind of like I've always, but I did not have that. Like so it came a little bit out of nowhere, and Isis came to my life and the Ankh like about 6 years ago. But that, yeah, this was about 3 years ago, and she's got this strong intuition. And then I decided the month, and I said, okay, next year in February, I'm going there. I'm going to hold a yoga retreat. And then like the power of the intention, it's just like crazy. Everything came to me. Even a one Finnish person who lives there in Luxor, I don't know if it's Luxor or Luxor, I think it's Luxor, in the city of Luxor, have been living there for 15 years. And it was so interesting how she was brought into my life. So crazy things. And yeah, and the first time I was there, I have now held 2 Kundalini Yoga retreats there, and both of the times, obviously, we have been into temples. One, we have been in Luxor temples and Karnak temples, and then Hatshepsut, I can't pronounce that, Hatshepsut's temple, where they did, there was lots of Hathor statues. So because I'm this kind of person, when I get an intuition, I'm just gonna go there. Like, I'm not a book nerd. I love to read, but not history. It's not my thing. So I actually did not know so much. I only knew all this, like Isis, Hathor, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, all these things. And I knew I had been there in my previous lifetimes, like this clear knowing. I've got to figure out that later is one of my gifts. But other than that, it was just this deep knowing I need to go there. And then when we were walking on these temples there with our barefoot, which we did get a ticket later on. You are not supposed to walk there with barefoots, we heard. Anyhow, but this feeling that just comes there is something, I cannot put it in words. I cannot. And that was the same all the other participants said. Like, when you are walking there, when you're touching this, I cannot describe it with words, how it is to be there. But that I can say, that all these participants who have been there with me, it's like they have experienced so much, and what has happened in their life after. So it's like this activating energy that happens there. And also like this remembrance energy, that you start to remember more deeply who you really are. Yeah.
That's beautiful. How does your relationship with like people of Egypt who, you know, have now like stewarded this land, like how does that play in, or what is your practice with reciprocity
Yeah.
in these things?
Yeah, I'm feeling that that's an area that I want to like dig deeper, since the first time I was there, it was 1 week, so obviously that was just like, wow, that was not so much. And then the second time, also pretty much still, even if I start to get more familiar, but it's kind of like I did not. I was so in my own bubble still, so I did not go so deep. But definitely, because since now she has become my friend, this associate that were brought to me, and her name is also Kirsi. Like, what
Okay.
are the odds? Like I said, she's been living there 15 years, and she knows a lot of then Egyptian people, and also she knows a lot of people who are working in these temple areas, and it's actually amazing. She has one friend there who has been working in these temple areas in Lakshar and Karnak, and his father has done that, and his father, and his father. So it's like this crazy. So she has beautiful contacts to how could I say that, to the people who are living in that holy land. So obviously, I'm willing to dig deeper with that, how we could help.
I love that. I think that that's what we can do, right? Is ask questions and always be open to growth and to leaning in and learning more. And it's interesting when you described like kind of going in your own bubble, and I have seen myself do the same thing in other areas, and it's like yeah, kind of I don't think it happens by accident. We sort of have to train ourselves to go out of that bubble. It's like super comfortable in the bubble, like it's part of our privilege, right? And so we can just be in our bubble, and it's like it takes like intentionality and stepping into discomfort. And
Yeah.
so I really honor your heart in that of like
Yeah.
that's the direction I
Well,
want.
we did do like meditation each year, like just meditating on that, because those areas where we lived, it's a quite big problem how there is rubbish all over, like in the waters, and it's like really dirty and just they, yeah. So we did this kind of meditation and healing to the land and to the waters and Nile and that kind of, so something a little bit energetic work we have done, but yes, definitely more to like show our respect, because so it does not happen the same thing. Like I hear these horrible stories with Bali, how people are going there and trashing the place, and like, yeah, we don't want to be like that. So that
Right.
if we're going to places, so how we can be in service as well, like physically.
I love that. I love that. Oh, there's so many different like directions, and we're kind of running out of time and things. I think that I think the last question I want to ask you is if you like this is your interview about Mary Magdalene and your connection to the Magdalene energy, and if you felt like she had a message for women today, and you knew like this is your chance to share that message, what do you want to say, or what do you feel Mary would share?
Remember who you are. Remember who you truly are. It's like so simple and yet quite hard for us, but it's like it all starts with being honest with yourself. Like talking about honest, I am a yoga teacher, spiritual teacher, all these things, and I still eat meat, I still drink my wine. Like that was a huge thing for me like 10 years ago, to admit in front of people like, hi, I'm a Kundalini teacher and I do this and this and this, and I swear, and I But that's me,
Mm.
and I'm not going to be ashamed of that. So first, being honest, like 100% honest with yourself. What is it that you want? What is it that you like? What is it that your like that sets your soul on fire? And then comes the hardest part. Then also like feel free to show it to the others as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
let other also remember who you are, and when you remember who you are, it will spark the remembering in others. So that's how we activate others all the time. But it starts with you, and then you get to activate someone, and then she gets to activate someone, and just like this remembrance.
That's so beautiful. And I really want to honor and acknowledge how you've taken something that can feel kind of cult-like, and I think for some even has been somewhat toxic, and the system of Kundalini yoga as it stands in its most orthodox form.
Yeah. And I have never done that in that way. Never.
How you are leading it and doing teacher trainings and everything in a way that is
Intuitive.
yeah, I love that. I think that's so powerful, and leaves a lot more space for inclusivity and for people to show up really as they are. Wow. Well, Kirsi, thank you for sharing with us today. Thank you for sharing from your wisdom. So many beautiful pieces around how we step into our voice and into our power and our intuition and our authenticity. And just thank you for the work that you're doing and the way that we're all learning and growing together. Is there anything, we've certainly got your links and things for people to be able to follow you in the description, but is there anything immediate that you want to invite people into?
Well, I actually did start a few weeks ago, this kind of offering transmissions, like weekly transmissions. It's on Telegram group where I am using my gift, which I now know that I have one. So if you are maybe someone who thinks like, what gifts? Like, I don't have any spiritual gifts. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what my soul purpose is, but you anyway have this deep feeling that there is something there, that you are an old soul and like you want to remember deeper. So maybe that could be something for you, like weekly transmissions where I am using my voice and I am surrendering to being a channel, and I know that magic will happen.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Kirsi. Thank you to those of you who have tuned in with us today for the Magdalene interview series. And we have another interview coming up actually in a couple of hours. And now that I'm back and in the flow from my trip, we've got lots more interviews coming. So stay tuned with us. And just thank you again, Kirsi, for who you're being in the world, stepping into your gift. I mean, to imagine someone like you going from feeling like I can't even answer like who I am and what I do to like
everything is in town.
I mean, holy moly, look at who you are and what you're creating in the world. So thank you for what you do. And we'll see you again next time on this show.